In about an hour's time, my Hindi is very bad. Okay, I will try थोड़ा करके बताएंगे. एक चीज पहला मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ, and that is साइंस अगर करना है आफ्टर यू ग्रेजुएट, स्कूल से बाहर जाओगे तो फिर पढ़ना है तो बहुत सारे पढ़ना है. नाउ अगर साइंस में रहना है तो अंग्रेजी इज एज एसेंशियल एज फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री एंड मैथमेटिक्स. सो अंग्रेजी से दूर मत हटो. My mother tongue is Bengali, and my Bengali is much better than my English. My English is not good, but there is something people say that if somebody, a disabled person, also can climb up a mountain, right? Giri Langate. I only think I remember the last part, but I don't the first one. So you can do anything. If you want to learn things, you will be able to learn. Be that quantum computing, be that proteins, be that black holes, be that anything. But your interest, your zeal, that is very important. That is very important. And all these students that are sitting here, you are at a very important point in your career. Now, after you pass out this 12th standard from your board, there will be people, your parents, your teachers, your elder persons, वो आपको बोलेगा इधर जाओ उधर जाओ, naturally. And ये जो बोलेगा आपको इधर जाओ उधर जाओ, ये आपको बोलेगा be it your parents, be it your elder person, वो आपको बोलेगा इसीलिए because वो आपको let's say in 5 years from now वो आपको देखना चाहता है that you are earning lot of money. And इसमें कोई दोष नहीं है, because you know if you don't earn, then you don't live a good life. So earning is very important, but only earning is not important. You earn you go to a profession, and that profession gives you some kind of lot of money, but you don't like the job. This is something you cannot do for, let's say, 30 years. Then another 30 years one has to work. In this country, assuming 60 is the age of superannuation. 60 में आपको काम छोड़ना है. So 30 years काम करना है. तो 30 years आप करेगा कुछ काम जो आपका एकदम अच्छा नहीं लगता. That is not good. That is not good for you. क्योंकि you are a good student. You have been coming here through some selection, right? So कुछ selection हुआ, ये बोला नहीं, वो नहीं. So many waiting list. I was going through their website. There is the first list, then there is the second list, there is the third list, so on and so forth, right? So this is, take it as an introduction from a person who has been doing science in India since last 20 years. Okay? Now I come to my topic. Point. And I used to like physical chemistry the most. Okay? Like if I take a vote in this house that how many likes physics, there will be maximum number of hands raised. Then if I ask how many of you would like to like chemistry, least number of hands will be raised. Am I right or not? And if I then tell you biology, then you say, well, we know biology, this, that, it is kind of compulsory, but biology is like history, one has to go through lot of information, but and informations are interesting because I can understand them, and then there are a lot of stories and there are many popular things which can be associated with biology. So that is why I like biology. But give me a choice, black hole will be my first choice. Okay? Now, I obviously, understanding the universe, understanding the fundamental forces that governs this galaxy is obviously a very important problem for us. But at this stage, and probably not at this stage, but you will, as you grow, you will realize that every subject has its own plus and minus points. Every subject. And the advantage of physical science, if I generalize, is that you can apply your logic and a bit of mathematics, which is also very logical. You know certain rules, you apply and then you get. That helps you understanding something, and very obviously that becomes the first choice because there is nothing like mugging up. But if I ask you, I give you copper and nitric acid is hot, nitric acid is dilute, nitric acid is concentrated, you know that there will be 3 reactions. Only depending on how the nitric acid I am giving it to you, right? So, this is, but interesting part is, this is also logical, very much logical. Only problem is, at this age of yours, this logic ये difficult है. See, आपका एक syllabus है ना, so एक syllabus बनाना है, आपको जो mentor लोग हैं वो उसको आपको syllabus बनाते हैं. So एक syllabus में कितना चीज आप डाल सकते हैं? Not many, right? At least in the standard of 11, 12. So क्या होता है? This becomes a limitations of at least the 2 subjects I am talking about, chemistry and biology. So there is analytical biology, there is biophysics, which could be understood exactly like like a normal physics problem. But the problem is there at this stage you cannot go. It is kind of beyond your scope at school level. That is the problem. So, without much of kind of general introduction that I am talking about, what I have decided that I would talk about a molecule called protein. And previously, I thought my talk will entitle as protein, proteins, and proteomics. And then I thought, and then Dr. Vinay Singh from here, he also said, do you remember that actually you will be addressing school kids? So I said, yes, I know I have to address school kids. So आप थोड़ा easy रखें. I will tell you all the story, proteins, proteomics. But I also know that I have not more than probably 10:30, 10:45 I must finish, because then you will also be bored. I can speak for 3 hours, but you will fall asleep. So no point giving you a 3-hour lecture. Huh? So I would introduce, and I will only try to tell you why are proteins important, and why at your later stage, if you do research ever, then you might try your hand to understand proteins. Okay? And my first slide shows you pictures of something that then also This milk, egg, cheese, they are really animal fat. They're all proteins. Okay? So they're all proteins actually. And but they form the factory. Now by factory what I mean is, like I'm sure all of you know that if you are given in a laboratory, if you are given hydrogen and oxygen, you would be able to make water. You would need something else. You cannot just mix them up and water will not form. So first of all, I will tell you which are the molecules that are part of this animal or plant or living systems. First of all, water is the most important part. Why? Because every bit of reaction, right? A plus B forms C, nitrogen and hydrogen mix करो तो ammonia मिल जाता है, right? वो जो है ना, any chemical reaction you can think of copper or nitric acid मिलाओ तो copper nitrate होगा. In some case nitric acid will be decomposed, उसमें से nitrogen dioxide gas आ जाएगा, उसमें से nitric oxide भी आ जा सकता है. So all those things will happen, right? But there are few reactions that you cannot achieve in the laboratory unless there is somebody called a catalyst. Catalyst मालूम है? Catalyst का नाम सुना है सब लोग? हाँ जी? So you need a catalyst. So catalyst का काम क्या है? Like if I give you a crude example, if I take hydrogen and oxygen and mix it in a jar and keep it for let's say tens of years, then probably I'd be able to form 10% oxygen. But that is not viable. So viability, sugar, this is also one kind of a reaction though. So if I take water and let's say I take ammonium chloride and I take ammonium chloride in a beaker, add water and you touch the beaker, it will be cold. So वो भी एक तरफ का reaction, ठीक है? क्योंकि you can see that there is some changes you can observe, right? Because it will be cold, so some heat will be taken up, right? So if I mix A and B and try to form C, this should happen in let's say seconds or minutes. If it happens after 3 days, I don't call it a reaction, right? ठीक है? So kinetics, right? So kinetics of a reaction is important. Okay? Almost all proteins act as a catalyst. So क्या होता है? If I give you A and B for a given reaction, and which on paper could form C, and you mix, you see the reaction that doesn't happen within a fixed time frame. But the moment you add a particular protein, which is the catalyst in this case, then you see the reaction happens. So catalyst is something that doesn't change by itself. उसका कुछ नहीं होता है. It doesn't undergo reaction. Catalyst itself do not participate directly in a reaction, but वो कराता है reaction. क्या कराता है? It simply increases the kinetics of the reaction. So क्या होता है, something that would have been taking place in millions of years, वो अभी होता है in seconds. ठीक है ना? So most of the protein's function is this, and that is why it is called a machine. So proteins do the nitty-gritty jobs of every living cell. Cells मालूम है ना? Cell क्या है? Fundamental unit of me, you, cow, goat, bacteria. Bacteria is only one, so that's the simplest. ठीक है? इसको I would tell you, since it is there. Okay, one more thing. This presentation will be here, kept here for all of you. So in case you need it, if you have a pen drive or something, you can copy it. ठीक है ना? So there is a word here called genes. Now I will not spend time because I will not have time. So genes क्या बोलता है? Genes store information. Now this information storage कैसा होता है? I'll try and explain. क्या होता है? So these things, be it a protein, be it a nucleic acid, whatever.